Here today to show you my knife collection, because that is what one does with one's knife collection, is it not? Okay, I'm not really a knife enthusiast, but these are what I feel are the essential blades one should own. I wouldn't mind having others, for example a karambit or some good katanas. Those are cool. But these blades are for utility and survival. These are pretty much the essentials. So for your bug out bag or camping, you always want to keep your pack as light as possible, obviously. And that means keeping your cutlery assembly on the minimalist side. You really don't need to burden yourself with too many blades, it's just not necessary. All these blades together weigh in under 10 pounds, and they each serve their purposes for survival, be it food prep, shelter, fighting if necessary, though I will say I'm a big proponent of always carrying a firearm. That being said, let's get to it. This is kind of my knockaround knife. I keep it in my vicinity for various purposes. So maybe it's a glorified box cutter. It's an MTech A895 stainless steel, for what that's worth, seeing as it's made in China. It's not something I recommend, but I'm not stressing over it for this one. It's a cool folder, kind of a tactical folder. Nice spring assist here. It's got some resistance to it, but it's new, and honestly I don't really want it to be too much easier to open, otherwise there's more chance of it opening unintentionally because there's no safety on it, as is the case with most folders. 3.5-inch blade, nice drop point on it for stabbing, super sharp edge. I do like the partial serration for this one, and it's got a really nice grip. Nice finger grip design here. For me it fits like a glove. And it's got a pocket clip. Seems like good construction to me. Sturdy liner lock. Zero blade play in there. Nice blade to have around for like 10 bucks. This is my Survival 7-in-1 folder. You've probably seen these, they're getting pretty popular now. I love this thing. You really don't get more tactical than this multi-tool knife. It's got a bottle opener, which I don't really care much about, seatbelt cutter, glass breaker / skull crusher. You could do some pounding with this edge here, but I wouldn't unless I had to. It's got a flashlight, which is super cool. Kind of reminiscent of a light you would put on your gun, like a light mount. And it's got a little ferro rod in here too. And yes, it does throw sparks. The blade itself is a little over 3.5 inches. Not much of a drop point, but they put an extremely sharp point on it. I don't know if you could see that. And the edge is super sharp. This one also has the partial serration. It's really easy to open, but I do keep this one in the sheath, so I'm not too worried about it opening. Not that I think it would. You gotta be careful. So, and yeah, I'm not sure actually what the brand is. These are kind of generic now, but it seems like, you know, overall good construction. Sturdy liner lock. Zero blade play in there. Definitely a great companion to have around. I love this thing. This is my everyday carry. Go get you one for like 15 bucks. This is my Mora knife. Everyone loves the Mora knife. You got the Scandi grind, stainless steel of course, 3/4 tang, which I can live with, nice rubberized grip on it. It's got a hard sheath with a drain hole in the bottom, which is good, and it's easy to get the knife out of the sheath quickly. There's nothing to it. It snaps back in. And then I tied this paracord here so I can use it as a neck knife. I think that's a good place for this one. And then also you get some extra cordage on you as well. This is another one that I would use as a neck knife, so I put the leather lace on it. It's a lot like a Mora knife, but obviously it's custom made. I think it's from an Iroquois tribe. It says something on here I can barely make out. It's not in English. It's a good survival knife. Full tang. I'm guessing stainless steel. It says 468 on there. I'm really not familiar with that class of steel, so if anyone can tell me what the quality is, that would be cool. It does retain its edge really well, so. Not a fan of the grip though, the bone handle, because those get slippery when you're using it, especially with dressing. And it has a leather sheath, which we don't like. We don't like leather because leather will weather. And then it's got this turquoise bead for a closure, which is pretty but far from tactical. So I much prefer a snap closure or like the Mora sheath. So this wouldn't be my first choice companion. I definitely prefer the Mora overall. I just kind of keep that one around. This pretty boot knife is a dagger. The Smith & Wesson H.R.T. The femme fatale. This girl is literally a heart stopper. That's 6 inches of steel right there, straight up through the ribs, straight shot to the heart. Not to sound morbid, but this is a self-defense blade. That's what it is. It's got a double-edged symmetrical blade, so wherever you sink the blade in, you give it a good twist. Make sure that wound doesn't close up anytime soon. It's a good friend to have for defense. So I know karambits are awesome, but a karambit you really need extensive training for, whereas this you're much more likely to inflict some serious damage without much training. Now, not to discourage anyone from knife training, it's always a good idea, but I think you get my point. It's full tang, 440 stainless steel. Both edges are razor sharp. It's got a great weight to it, not too light, not too heavy. And you can bust it out of the sheath on the spot if needed. So it's just snap full. It's got this tactical rubberized grip, which is really nice. Nice palm swell here, makes it super comfortable. It's got hand guards, and then you can get the saber grip on it. And it comes with a lanyard hole. I'm just in love with this design. This is a sexy dagger. It's not only pretty, but it's also intimidating, which is important, and it's very, very capable. So, 100%. And the K-bar. Hooah! This is the Becker BK7. That's 7 inches of steel. It's It's about 75 bucks, and I highly recommend springing for it. You're getting a lot of quality for that money. This is the best you're going to get in that category of knives that isn't custom made. So if you can't afford a custom knife in the triple digits, definitely go with a BK. It's a fantastic one-tool option. It ticks all the boxes. I don't advocate a one-tool option unless you find yourself in a situation where you lose everything else and this is all you've got on your hip. But in that case, you'll definitely be glad to have it. It'll do a lot for you. So the blade thickness is 0.188 inches. It's hefty. This thing will take a lot of abuse. Beautiful straight edge for cutting, splitting, batoning, and it's got enough length that you can baton large pieces of wood with it if you needed to. Razor sharp edge. It's got a bit of a belly here for dressing. Drop point tip. Nice solid full tang construction, of course, and the tang does come all the way through to the end, so you can use that end of it. And it does have a lanyard hole. It's K-bar, quality, trusted, USA made steel. Well heated and treated, you really can't go wrong with this one. It's 1095 Crowvan steel. It's not Chinese mystery metal. It is higher carbon, so it'll keep its edge a long time, and it's very easy to sharpen, so you just got to make sure you take care of it. Give it a little more love if you're using it a lot. It's a flat saber grind, aka Scandi grind. It's got jimping on the spine for carving. The shape of the handle is super comfy. It's got a handguard on this end, and then the pommel on this end keeps your hand from sliding off when you're working with it. The newer model, I know, doesn't offer much grip by way of the material, which I know a lot of people complain about, but on the other hand, it may prevent hot spots, so it may end up being an advantage. You just got to determine that in the field, and so if I feel it's necessary, I would put some Wilson or a tennis wrap around the handle, and that should take care of that. 12.9 ounces, call it a pound with the sheath. Great force behind it. I wanted to stay under a pound because I do want to keep this on my hip at all times, because again, it doesn't do you any good if it's not on you. Great balance to it. One thing is, out of the box it has this black epoxy coating, which I'm probably going to replace with a Duracoat, and then I'll also make a nice 90-degree edge on here on the spine so I can throw sparks off it. And that's about it. You gotta love this thing. This is just holding it. It's a tank, but it's got finesse. Love it. And the sheath is great. It's nylon, hard plastic insert in there, and then it does have an extra sheath on the outside for a smaller knife if you wanted. Right there. This is my Gerber machete. I know, it's a big ass machete. So, when I think about what I would take with me into the wilderness, I do think multi-purpose. So for instance, this will probably get through any kind of thicket, and something tells me it would make a nice melee weapon if I needed it. This thing will do some massive, massive damage. Super sharp edge, super comfortable to wield, seems like, though I haven't really worked with it out in the field. So if anyone has used this machete for different things in the field, do let me know what you think about it. And, of course, a hatchet. This is the Estwing E24 14-inch leather sportsman's axe. It's an Estwing, made in the USA, made to last. This is a big seller. It's quality on a budget. If you look, you can find this thing pretty cheap right now. It's not meant to be a real woodsman's hatchet, so for that you'd want something, you know, bigger, with a longer, straighter handle, preferably wood, and some kind of shock-absorbing material if you're going to be using it a lot. But this is a nice travel hatchet. It's compact, solid steel all the way through, so you don't have to worry about hitting the handle or the head falling off. It's under 2 pounds, so you could keep it on your belt or in your bug-out bag. It's perfectly balanced. Nice cutting edge. It's not overly curved, it's just the right amount. Very sharp. Nice bevel on it. And it's got a coated leather grip, which is nice. And it comes with a nylon sheath, which is really good, because a lot of axes and hatchets come with leather. And this one's reinforced at the seams. That's about it. I know a lot of people like double bit axes or hatchets. Double bits are nice, but twice the price, and one will suffice. That's what I say. So, again, we're talking minimalist bushcrafting. And I think it's kind of nice to have this edge for hammering or driving in stakes or whatever. Anyway, so that's it. Like I said, this is really all you need. So what am I taking with me? I'm taking my 7-in-1 folder, my Morakniv, leaving that one behind. So what am I actually taking with me? My 7-in-1, my neck knife, my boot knife, and the K-bar, and these 4 go on my person, and then the machete and the hatchet go on my pack, and that's it. So feel free to share any thoughts and ideas below. Hope you enjoyed, be cool, and stay safe.